Morning. I am coming to you today from Stroud, Oklahoma. I was trying to make some tracks yesterday. I did miss some things because of it, but as I said yesterday, I realized how far off schedule I was. I had to do some moving. So I want to tell you about my day yesterday, and maybe it'll be shorter today because I have got so many things to see. I got a whole page of things to check out today. But anyway, my day started yesterday at Lynn's, which was so nice that to be with a friend that I hadn't seen in a long time and don't get to see very often. Of course, isn't that the test of friendship that when you haven't seen each other in a long time and it's like you were never apart. So that was really a good thing. And so we went to breakfast, and this is a point I'd like to make about eating on the road, okay? Remember the other day when I was talking about getting like real shaky and everything and realized I hadn't eaten since breakfast, that the difference is, yesterday I went quite a span without eating, but the difference was the breakfast. I had my favorite hash browns and home fries and cottage cheese, and I ate it all. But it kept me for a very, very long time. And when I had the pancake that day, that's not the right kind of thing to eat. So again, make sure you're eating well if you make a long trip, or even if you got a long day doing whatever you do. The last night's supper, I have to tell you, was fantastic. And it was one of the things I brought with me. You know, I'm trying very hard to avoid unnecessary eating out. And because you realize a lot of times you eat out, if you're not aware of this, the math for restaurants is it costs 3 times whatever the food actually costs. You multiply it for staff, bills, and profit. So yeah, was a good thing that I brought that food. And I'm finding that very important. Don't necessarily bring things just because they're good for you, but because they're good. And when you look forward to what you're going to have for dinner, even if you have brought it yourself, that makes it much easier to avoid the excess expense. Like that whole thing with Steak and Shake, never should have done that. It just wasn't something that I could have. I would say let the calories be worth ingesting. So anyway, we went to breakfast, and it was a cute little cowboy place. You gotta look. It was called the Hot Spot, I think. And please look at my pictures, and you'll see all the amazing decorations. The decor was just great. Then we went up to Miami, and we went up there and started off by getting every attraction that I wanted. They have a gateway going into the city. I got that. An old marathon station, got that. There was a place, a Route 66 vintage iron, which was motorcycles. I think I took more pictures at the motorcycle museum than any place else because it was so fascinating. I didn't post them all. You'd be looking at pictures all day, but Sean Fallis, be aware, they'll be coming your way, probably in an email or something, because I just couldn't resist taking so many. And thinking of you, let's see, Coleman Theater. Coleman Theater is very, very fancy old theater in Miami, and we got a tour, and the gentleman told us a little bit about the theater and what's going on, and it's still in operation, which is just so wonderful. They even have silent films, and Lynn's mom's a little hard of hearing, and so she said, oh my gosh, I can bring my mom to these silent films and she'll love it. And what a brilliant idea. So then we were going back to Grove. I was very nervous that I wasn't going to see all the things I wanted to see because I spent time with a friend, So we're driving back from Miami to Grove, which is where Lynn lives, and I suddenly got it that, hello, they're on 66. I think if I'd have known she was on 66, I might have done things differently, might not, because it was such fun having my journey and checking items off my list. There is nothing like checking items off my list. That's why I was a little late today. I was making my list. Okay, so Would you believe, and you will believe it when you see it, we found another cowboy, well, another giant, it's cowboy. And, you know, Lynn said, you know, we got a giant kind of like that in Grove. We got to, you know, I said, find it. We got to find it, because now finding giants is a mission of mine. And sure enough, we found it. And sure enough, it's one of the Muffler Man redos. They made it into a cowboy. And I was wondering to myself, how many of those Muffler Men are there out there? So, I mean, I thought I was doing great. I thought I found them all. Oh, my stars. Go to my timeline and find, I think it's on my timeline, and take a look at the link I posted. I think it's called Road Trip America or something like that. And I posted a link to hundreds of them. So I'm thinking my next quest is going to be tracking down Muffler Men giants. And the first one, well, not the first one, because I'm going to do it any way I can. And this trip, I'm not going to get that many. I looked at the list. But there are 2 in Connecticut. And I didn't even know it. So when I get back, we're going to do a run for the 2 Connecticut Muffler Men giants. And maybe one of them is close to, excuse me, Frank Pepe, where I can get, or a village I got in town. So I'm not knocking village, but Frank Pepe is fab. And I can get it maybe when I'm looking for a giant. Who knows? So then we moved on, and there were other things in Grove. Who'd have thunk it? There were other things in Grove that we saw. One of them was it was called Harbor Village. And it's a kind of a old shops center and everything. You had to pay to get in, and I'm not paying to shop. I just didn't want to do it. So we found other things from the guidebook, the Cherokee Queen 1 and 2, which are paddle wheelers that used to go out on the lake there. And in the Cherokees tribe bought them, and they were going to put in a casino right there and right by the boats. And for some, well, the townspeople squawked because they didn't want a casino there. And everything kind of got to a halt. And unfortunately, the Muffler Men, I'm so obsessed. The paddle wheelers are sitting there. And I so hope they think man, you know, right, those of you who are in, you know, our area know about the Lady Catherine cruises, the brunch cruises and stuff. They could make a lot of money and really have a good time if they took those paddle wheelers and made them into, you know, venues for an afternoon enjoyment. Ellen, if you're watching this, I am going to be back for our murder mystery cruise on the Lady Kate. Excited about that. That'll be a little softening blow to my vacation being over, I'm sure. So we then went to the Buffalo Ranch, which was really once a buffalo ranch that's down to a herd of about 6. They moved the other ones out, and they put in a big old truck stop. I don't even think I took a picture of that, but I did take a picture of the old Buffalo Ranch office and a picture of buffalo with my hand on its butt. And dear friend Ellen asked me, why do you have your hand on the buffalo's butt? It's actually an American bison, just making myself clear. It was no exciting reason. I have nothing about buffalo butts to touch. But it was because it was a mud puddle. It was that simple. Sometimes you think it's something interesting, and it's not. Oh, yes. Linda's reminding me they're Tantaka, which is what they're called. And like Miami, Tatanka, all I could think of was Tawanda from fried green tomatoes. And then we parted ways after that, and hugs and kisses, and I took the rocks, which we never did decoupage, so I'm going to wash them and get them out, and by the time I run out of rocks, I'll have new rocks to put in there. And so I went on my way, and I found some old hotel signs, and some hopefully look like they're being refurbished, and motel signs. I was corrected by the guy from from modern cabins. He said it was called a motor court in those days. So I stand corrected to motor court. I went to a wonderful, I took the Rest Haven picture, then I went to a wonderful place. It was called the, let's see, it was a station, it was a Citgo or Texaco or some kind of station, and Packard showroom. And I took a picture of an old one. I'm just not enough, you know, in love with cars that I would pay the $5 to see the museum, because that's what it was, a museum of Packard. So I took a picture of the old one outside, and the lady in the store, whose name is Sue, was such a delight. And we had a lot of fun talking about the road and what 66 means, and I'm doing a lot of that. And she said, you should be the spokesperson for Route 66, and sometimes I think I should. Maybe I can find a way to get something out of this trip. Who knows? So then I found the old Chelsea Motel. And again, it was very run down. It reminded me of the Grandview Manor Hotel, which we were so sad to have to take down. But it was the same thing. And not unlike Sunset Motel, I was kind of taking closer up pictures, and I saw something from the bottom of a window that indicates that perhaps they've got squatters. So I kind of like got in my car, got back on the road, and I went to the I forgot the guy's name, but you'll see it in, I put it on the pictures, but it's the Totem Pole Park, and it's these huge totem poles, and they're not carved out of wood. They're made out of sandstone or sand and something, but an artist, Ed Grissom, I think was his name, made them. And that's where I put the roaming rock this time. So if anyone is following me on 66 and you go to the Totem Pole Park, you will find it by the sign that talks about the park. So that was great. I went to the Blue Whale, which is a big, it's like a roadside picnic area where you can go and have a picnic. It is this huge blue whale structure. So I was lucky to have someone take my picture there. And that was fun. And there was also a wooden ark. I am so sad that I didn't get a picture of the wooden ark, because I didn't realize it was there. I looked over there, but I didn't see anything. When I drove by, there it was. And it was one time like a wild animal little display and stuff and petting area. And some of them were reptiles, so you wouldn't have seen me get excited about that. So, but I flew by, and I may cheat and find a picture of it online and post it as if I saw it, because after all, I did really see it. I also took a shot of the Antiques Trading Post, which is long gone, and a picture of the Meadow Gold dairy sign, which talks about the ice cream here and how disappointing there, of course, is no ice cream there. They moved that sign as simply a point of interest on Route 66. I think the bottom of the building looked like it could have been empty. I think they should make it into a ice cream shop, which, as you know, I will find the Route 66 Association and tell them that, oh my goodness, I gotta grab something real quick, because it is my battery's running low. Oh my goodness. Where'd I put the damn thing? Hang on, gotta get my cord, gotta plug it in. I don't want to lose you. Just be entertained with my bed, which I don't have to make beds now. Okay. Yes, I'm juice. I'm good to go. Okay, let's see, because I want to tell you about everything today, because I got so much more. I can't tell you. Okay, so I found the old Oasis Motel, which was really creepy. It is still in operation. God, it's got to be cheap. I wouldn't even think of asking anybody. But there was indications that's not a place you want to see. That would be in my album. And the pictures are out of order. I've said that before. They're out of order because I use my phone and I use my my camera. When Lynn and I got to Miami yesterday, and I went to take a picture, it said no memory card. I left the memory card when I went to put in my photos the night before. I left it back at her house. So at least it's not lost anywhere. I was afraid it might have fallen out somewhere. But So I used my phone for a lot of them. So there's big differences in what I posted today. So then Lynn told me that there was this giant statue. It wasn't a muffler man, but it was at the Ohio State Fairgrounds, at the entry of the fairgrounds, and you walk between his legs or something to go in. And I thought, okay, that's called the Golden Driller. And I said, I got to go see that. So what she didn't tell me is while it's at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds, she didn't tell me the fair is in progress now. Parking space? Not going to happen. I drove down sideways and down blocks and figured how far I was willing to walk to get a picture. I thought about handing some of my camera and say, take a picture and give it back to me. Not a wise idea. I'm not that silly. So I drove down a side road and came out a block before where the giant was. And I got my camera already and figured, well, I'm just going to kind of like drive by and click. But there was a traffic signal there, and would you believe it turned red just in time? So I did get a picture. It's not a great picture, but dag nabbit, I snagged that one. I really do feel like a hunter out here on the road. And then I'm driving down the street. Now, I have not found this in a guide, in a book, or anywhere, but I look up and there is this humongous. I can't tell you how tall it is. It's freaking huge. It's a gas pump. It's a Phillips 66 gas pump. So I pull off the road, you know, and put on my flashers and get out, and I try to take pictures. And because the lamp on the gas pump is so bright, you can't see it says Phillips 66, and you can't really even see how big it is. But I got to tell you, that thing is huge. And of course, a gentleman pulls over and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I just want to get a picture." And so we talked about it a little bit. He even tried with his camera to see what he got. And not a lot of success, but know that when you see it, that's what it is. It's a huge gas pump. And that's pretty much, I think, what I have to say. My hotel, again, is a Skyline. Yeah, last night. And it was very inexpensive, and it's a vintage, which means, but I did have a microwave and refrigerator and a huge screen TV with cable. Yeah, you can't beat it. You know, they do look a little run down, but sometimes you can judge by the cars in the parking lot. Is that a place I want to stay? And I wanted to stay, and it got good reviews. I always check the reviews. It got good reviews, and I am so happy I stayed there. So if you decide to travel Route 66, support these guys. Support the guys that are trying to keep this working. Oh, this is funny. So this morning I padded my way out I had to put clothes on because I couldn't go out there in my pajamas. But I went out to see if the coffee was ready at 6:30 when I woke up. And it wasn't ready. Now, it so happens the guy that's in charge of the place is helping his friend out while he's out of town. So he said, "Oh, come back in 5 minutes. Have the coffee ready." So I said, okay. And I came back, and 10 minutes later I went back, and the coffee looked like wheat tea. He did not know how to make coffee. I had to teach him how to make coffee. So don't know if he made any since that first cup I had, but I thought it was just hilarious. The other thing is some interesting signs that I saw along the way. One is, this is the name of the road. It's Heavy Traffic Avenue. Who the heck would want to go down Heavy Traffic Avenue? But can you imagine naming a street such a thing? The other one was a sign that said entry to freeway or thoroughfare or whatever it said, exact change required. It said exact change required, but it didn't tell you how much it cost. So how do you know if you got exact change or not? Just a few of my adventures on the road. I couldn't find the picture when I wanted to today, but I have discovered that a lot of the roads out here on the road are kind of like gravel paths, but they are bona fide roads, and my GPS is not messing with me. So I'm off on the road for the day. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I look forward to visiting with you tomorrow. I told you I have a full full list of things. Can you see it? You can't read it anyway, because who can read my handwriting? Okay, God bless and a good day. I'll see you in cyberspace.